You think fixing people makes you wifey material or a good person? It makes you look like a mother, and to be quite frank, it's not as cute as you think it is. It makes you look less attractive and people unconsciously respect you less. Why would you do that to yourself? People do not fall in love with their savior. They abuse them. They use them and abuse them emotionally, financially, even through your energy, psychologically, and even sometimes physical abuse. Today I'm going to show you why your need to save people is the exact reason why you are exhausted, disrespected, and how to stop doing it so you can redirect that energy towards you and you can use it to glow up. You have to come to the understanding that your emotional response could be a dysfunctional mode of way of operating. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is your way of responding might not be you. It might just be a wounded version of you. And I'm speaking about the people who grew up in a dysfunctional household, who had dysfunctional friends, who just encountered not really having any good quality people in their life. And everything literally stems from your childhood. It's literally the blueprint to who you are as an adult. If you don't consciously become aware of the habits, the things that you do consciously, how you act with people, what you tolerate, what you do not tolerate, what you enable, what people enable in you, those things do play a factor. Those things do matter. So you have to ask yourself, am I responding because I am actually genuine, because I genuinely want to save this person or help this person? Where is this urgency coming from? Because 9 times out of 10, if you feel like by default you want to help people, where it's like it's crossing your boundaries, it's not respecting your time, and all of those things, then you have to ask yourself, where did I get this from? Where did I see that from? And lo and behold, you are just a byproduct of your previous environment. There was a research done that basically said kids who grew up in dysfunctional, abusive households, children normalize anything to them is normal. This is why if you grew up in a dysfunctional household, you can relate or bond over things that you went through, and that other person can literally agree and say like, yeah, I actually experienced that, something very similar, like whoa. But someone else who grew up very normal can literally listen to what you're saying and be like, wow, that is not normal. They will G-check you. This is why it's so important to have people who are like people who didn't experience abuse or a level of dysfunctionalness. It's very, very important to have people like that, because they will give you a reality check and they will tell you like, this is not normal, you need to get this sorted out, you need to get help, you need to seek help. So it's so important to internalize this truth and know that you are not responding, it's literally your trauma. Just like how some people say, oh, for so many years I thought my personality was my true identity. But your personality can also be a trauma personality. As an example, like your personality might not be truly yours. You may have just used it as a coping mechanism. Shy people are not shy. They are only shy because they were made uncomfortable in so many different environments where they couldn't be their authentic self, and them being shy is a form of protection from themselves to themselves. Does that make sense? That is a very small fractal example, but it pretty much still applies to this. Number 2, you have also internalized this very, very deep truth, which is, I know it sounds very dark, very but it needs to be said. You came to this world by yourself. You're going to leave this world by yourself. Your mom's not going to be next to you, your brother's not going to be next to you, your sister's not going to be next to you, your friend is not going to be next to you, so on and so forth. Those people, I'm not saying these people do not matter, but you have to see the bigger picture. You have to understand that you are your own soul. You do not own anyone, even your family members. A lot of parents get lost in the source or the understanding of like, all right, cool, these are my kids, I owe them. No, you do not owe them. They have their own personality, they have their own autonomy, their own identity, way of thinking, everything else. Your job is just to raise them as a functioning human being, and the rest is literally their life. A lot of parents become too attached to their children, like they're not toys. They have feelings, they have emotions, they have their own autonomy. And what makes you think you owe someone? You do not owe anyone. And this goes down to like even the people that you really love so much. You have to understand that. I believe the Buddha even said about how attachment is literally suffering for humans. To detach or to understand that you do not owe anyone. You shouldn't lose yourself over things, over materialistic things, over people, over situations, over events, over things that you put yourself into, where you are like, oh, like, whoa, like, I can't believe I went through this. And then you put yourself in shame and guilt and all of these low vibrational energies for so many years, and the only person that is imprisoning you is literally you. That's a bar. Write that down. So it just puts things into perspective. Like, you are the only person that can free yourself, and you are the only person that can literally put yourself in a cage. So the ball is in your court. I find this world so beautiful, this physical 3D world, very beautiful, because as much as you can love something so much, you have to eventually know, you just have to eventually come to the understanding, I can love this thing so much, but you don't want to become so overconsumed where you lose yourself. There needs to be a level of balance and equilibrium to every single thing you do, you know. And as people say, too much of anything is never good, and that literally goes in love and you giving out yourself to people. Anything excessive is leaky. You're leaking your energy, whether you intentionally or unintentionally are aware of it. I'm just saying. Just mind the mic situation. I just realized I had a mic the whole time and I didn't even plug it. Anyways, let's continue. And the last point is, you have to ask yourself, what is it in me that I'm constantly always seeking to save people? And ask yourself that and literally reflect on it. Like, take some time off, no social media, no phone. You and your thoughts. Ask yourself, like, literally ask yourself why, and then you will get to the root of it. If you give yourself enough time to reflect, enough time for solidarity where you're just alone in your thoughts, you will figure out where this constant need, that urgency to why I need to save people, why does it have to be me? It does not have to be you. And 9 times out of 10, if someone is going through it, you don't have to be the person that is in front of the line trying to volunteer for free. There's other people that this person can go to. It doesn't have to always be you. Even, I know it's very hard to swallow when it's the people around us that we want to be the shoulder that they rely on, but whose shoulder do you rely on? 9 times out of 10, it's your own shoulder. I'm just saying. And the more you dive into it, you literally come to the understanding, like, 9 times out of 10, your traits or the way you go about your identity is literally from your childhood. And if there is no reconstruction of what had happened in the past, it will continue replaying over and over again. And I'll give you a prime example. So I've noticed one thing about myself is, if I don't consciously figure out things that are toxic or things that I do not really like about myself, like negative traits, I start to resemble, or I start to act in a way, especially react in a way of how my parents would react to things, where they let their emotion get the best out of them. I came to the understanding, if I don't change this quote unquote trait about myself, I will just become my parents' point O. I will just become like them. Why would I choose the easiest path that was given to me by default when I can truly utilize my free will that was given to me by God to literally change the trajectory of my life based on my identity? A lot of people forget that, all right, cool, change your identity, but it's not just your identity. You have to change your way of thinking, your perception, your beliefs. A lot of things go into changing yourself internally. And yeah, like it's honestly the truth. Like, it doesn't get more raw or as honest as this. So, like, literally look within you and see if you don't like things about yourself, write it down. If you see some resemblance of how you act and how your parents act, literally create that circle where, like, you know, the 2 lines cross over. What is it called? I forgot. You know what I'm trying to say? And, like, literally say, okay, cool, like, what is it in me that I also see a reflection of myself and my parents, and vice versa? What do I want to change? Who do I need to be to become that person? What do I need to do to become this person? Remember, action and the identity go hand in hand. You can't just daydream, say, like, oh, I'm gonna be this peaceful, non-problematic type of person, but you don't take any action, you don't do things that better you, you don't do things that quiet your mind, so on and so forth. These things need to be applied, and these things need to be practical, and they need to be implemented in your lifestyle. Keep in mind, 7 billion people, 7 billion different lifestyles. It has to apply to you. So I hope this video helped, and your ass better not be no savior for nobody. in this 2026. Like, dead ass. I'm watching you.